So, after visiting Santiago de Compostela, we decided to venture ourselves a bit more to the northwest and visit the famous Rias Baixas to see some of the most touristy and quaint places there. Our first stop was the pretty little village of Cambados. We first decided to visit Cambados on our way, and it's a beautiful little village that you can visit in the morning, just taking a stroll along its main avenue, seeing those little stone houses where there's a lot of stores where you can try the local wine Albarino and Ribeiro, and of course check out the market for seafood as you're in Galicia.
Cambados diye bir köye geldik ya da kasabaya geldik. Buranın da deniz ürünleri satan bir marketi var, pazarı var bu şekilde. Yine her türlü şey var. Aklınıza gelebilecek her türlü deniz ürününü bulmak mümkün. Hatta aklınıza gelmeyenleri bile bulabilirsiniz. O derece çeşitli. Teyzeler çantalarıyla gelmiş, çok tatlı.
We decided to visit the ruins of the church of Santa Mariña right outside the center of Cambados. This is a church from the 15th century, which was abandoned in the 19th century, but the most interesting thing is seeing the arches of it. It caught our eye when we saw this on the Netflix show Unauthorized Living, and it didn't disappoint us at all. Our next stop was the lovely little village of Combarro. Combarro is definitely worth a visit, and we just loved it. When you visit Combarro, you will notice these high constructions by the houses, which are supported by pillars. There are some granaries which are typical of the north, and they are called horreos. These granaries is where people store their goods to keep them away from wet weather, to have some ventilation, and especially to keep them away from the mice that try to eat the food. You can see the sea. After visiting Combarro, we went to see the medieval town of Bayona by the sea. Bayona is not only very beautiful, but historically important. There you can visit the ship called La Pinta, which was the first one from Columbus's expedition to get to European land with news of the discovery of the Americas. Together with this, you must definitely pay a visit to the Fortress of Montreal. Walk around its gardens and up along the walls to get an astonishing view of the northern Atlantic Sea.
had dinner at the cutest little tapas bar in Bayona called La Mini, and we ordered salmorejo, which is not a typical dish from Galicia, but we really like it. It is very similar to gazpacho, the cold tomato, cucumber, and pepper soup, but salmorejo has a thicker consistency. They gave us some complimentary salad here, some nice bread, and very typically some olives. I got my favorite wine, which is typical in this region, called Albarino. A nice cheese platter with different jams to combine them with. We also had tosta de sardina, which is sardine on toast with some cheese and tomato jam. To spend our last night in northern Spain, we chose this parador in Ribeira Sacra. A parador can be a castle, a monastery, fortress, palace, or another historical property which was restored and then turned into a hotel with modern facilities. Paradors are not specific to this region. You can find them all over Spain. The one we stayed at used to be a monastery, built in the 16th century and its origins dating further back to the 10th century. It had a really pretty courtyard, and overall it was a very nicely decorated building. There are different types of rooms, and this was our room. As you can see, it is quite simple, but nicely decorated. It had all the things that you need. But what I liked the most was thinking about the monks who spent all their lives here between these walls in a completely different era. And I liked imagining them standing where I stood and chatting away about their daily matters in this courtyard. And this sundial that was carved on the wall in the courtyard was also a very nice detail that we noticed.
is a life I lead in this city, hurrying to cut my teeth. I can take what I need to get by, it doesn't make it easy.
So Ribera Sacra, everybody thinks that comes from sacred Sacra and Ribera from riverside. But apparently, according to some findings in transcriptions in the past, there was a mistake with translating the part that refers to Ribera as river. It actually meant from the Latin word of roble, which is oak. That was the sacred tree of the ancient tribes which lived in Galicia even way before the Romans, because this is a Celtic area, and for them the oak trees, those robles, the word Ribera comes from, Ribera, that was the original meaning of it, like sacred oak trees. That's the meaning of Ribera Sacra, because it was the tree that they revered, and also where they made their spells and where they made their sacred drinks and rituals.
If I could take you back to my youth and show you what I wish I knew, my will is strong with a place to lean. In the moment I hung desperately.
So, if you would like to take a tour like us, you need to make a reservation, because some hours may be in more demand than the others. This is a 2-hour tour with a guide for €9 per person. The guide speaks in Spanish, but I can give you a short summary of the interesting facts that I remember. As you can see, the vineyards are located on the slopes, which makes it very difficult to produce wine. And they can only produce a certain amount of wine in a year. That's why the wine becomes very precious. Traditionally, all the family members shared the workload, and everybody had an important role in the family. While men and women picked the grapes, children cleaned the barrels where wines were stored. We are now sailing on River Minho. The guide told us that after the construction of a dam, the water levels went up and many houses were left underwater. The ones that we can see now were higher, so they survived.
Gracias. Gracias.
We decided to have dinner at the hotel, and as a starter, they brought us these lentil salads in a shell. And then, for the main course, I ordered an arroz negro, which is black rice because it is made with the ink from the squid. Inside, it has some calamari and a mayo sauce on top. To be honest, I couldn't really tell what the ink tasted like, as it doesn't have a distinct flavor, but the rice itself was sticky, kind of like a risotto. Meanwhile, my husband got pulpo alla brasa, which is grilled octopus leg, with local cheese and some paprika on top.